Hey alchemists, welcome to May. The themes for May are change and transformation. In April, the themes were change and opportunity, but the change in May is different than the one in April because May's change is all about evolutionary change. What does this mean? If you actually look at the history of how dolphins evolved on planet Earth, that took a lot of time. So dolphins were actually terrestrial animals. They were first roaming the land. And because of weather patterns and because they could find more food in the ocean, their bodies started to evolve, and they slowly over time moved from the land into the ocean. If you actually look at dolphins, they don't have gills, they have lungs, and they're not able to breathe underwater. And so if you look at their bone structure, you will notice that there are bones connected to their hips, which would be where their legs would be. Now, how long do you think this evolution took for dolphins to evolve from being land animals to being sea animals? It took 50 million years for that evolution to happen, and it was better for them because they would have a more thriving environment and more food and more likelihood of survival if they were sea animals. So that took 50 million years. So that's the type of evolution that I'm referring to when it comes to the change in May. The change in May, you have to think about the transformation we just went through with eclipse season. Transformation is a constant change. It's a constant state of evolution. A Mayan elder shared this beautiful teaching with me 2 months ago. She said our constant task is to always be evolving. Everything is constantly evolving, and that's our path now, especially in May. We went through so many deep shifts internally in April with the eclipses, and now it's time to take all of that change that happened internally and bring it into our external world. So committing to our evolution. And that's going to be the biggest theme in May, committing to your transformation and into your rebirth. With this evolution, we're being supported by God, source, spirit, creation of the universe at large. You're not alone with this, so know that you're divinely supported. We're having so many solar flares, which these solar storms help to activate the dormant DNA that we have inside. And so this evolutionary process that we're moving through, it's not just an evolution of who you are at the heart level, who you are at the personality, mind level, but it's also changing who you are at the physical level. So during May, we're going to have more solar storms. We're going to have many different cosmic portals that will help you to connect with this essence of shifting from one version of you to another version of you and allowing those changes to actually stick into your physical reality. One of the things that I heard when I was asking my guides about the themes for May is winds of change. Typically, when we think about change, we think about our personal lives. But in May, the change is going to predominantly happen at the collective level. Yes, of course, you'll see personal changes in your own life, but a lot of the changes you'll see in your own life will be as a result of the collective changes happening at a global level and how that influences you in your daily life. So the collective changes are going to be the ones that create the biggest shifts this month. Something that can help you to move through these changes is connecting with your animal guides. You have so many animal allies, and connect with them physically and etherically. So how can you connect with them physically? Go out to nature in May. Take that time to connect and observe the animals around you. What are the birds doing? How do they behave with each other? And just observe the animals around you. If you have pets, this is a wonderful time for you to build a stronger and deeper bond with your animal companions. Etherically, you can connect with your animal guides by bringing them into your spiritual practices. We have more than just one main animal guide. Sometimes different animal guides come into your journey at different points in your life based on what type of animal medicine you're needing. And if you want to connect with your animal guides at a deeper level, I invite you to join us at our May full moon ritual and meditation, where we are going to connect with our animal guides to do an alchemy ritual to release what is out of alignment with our highest good. And you can get more details about that alchemy, ritual, and meditation for the full moon in the description of this video. I also have a question for you all. Next month, I'll be picking up a Bengal cat. Right now the kitten is bonding with its mother, so we're gonna go pick it up next month with my wife. And honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about that because cats are such powerful creatures. So if you have any advice for how to bond with your kitten or how to even manage and start that relationship, please let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. I'm super excited because actually, if you go to Egypt, you notice that there's cats everywhere. That's because back in the day, the ancient Egyptians, they would worship cats like gods because they saw cats being guardians of portals. So they carry so much medicine. I mean, all animals carry so much medicine. When a cat purrs, it actually releases a sound healing frequency. When birds chirp, it's the same thing. And that's why I highly encourage you this month to go out in nature and to be exposed to these natural sound healing frequencies, because the power of sound healing is it bypasses your brain. You know, sometimes we can get stuck in our mind constructs and it goes directly into your cells. So it's one of the fastest ways for you to heal. Something else that can help you during this month of change and transformation is reconnecting with your soul family. During the eclipses in March and April, there were shifts between soul family groups. We are all born into many soul families, not just one. We're born into multiple soul families. And soul families are people and souls. They can also be animals. So they are souls that continuously reincarnate with you to support you on this journey. It can be a coworker, it can be a friend, it can be an animal companion. So during the eclipses, soul families were shifting. So sometimes when we have evolved too fast out of a soul family, we will end up joining another soul family in order for that to support our expansion, our evolutionary process. During the eclipses, a lot of these family dynamics were shifting. So pay attention to your dreams. Maybe you're having dreams with a specific person or being in your dream. Maybe because that soul family bond is being restructured and you need to nourish that bond even more now. Also, pay attention to the people in your physical life who are either entering your life or leaving your life. During this month, allow yourself to grieve any losses, both if you have a loss of a physical person who's transitioning, because during the eclipses, souls tend to leave our earth more often because the veil between the dimensions is thinner. Also, if you are grieving the loss of a friend, that is a loss in and of itself. So you have to give yourself the adequate time and space for you to move through that grieving process. And just know that as you're moving through your journey of soul evolution and growth, we are meant to be evolving in and out of new relationships, which is not always the most fun thing to do, but that's why it's important for you to have a lot of compassion and self-care during that process. We start off the month on May 2nd with Pluto going retrograde. This is going to affect us for the first 2 weeks of May at very high levels. Pluto goes retrograde from May 2nd until October 11th, and that's just fascinating because Pluto is the planet of death, rebirth, transformation. So the themes for May, and Pluto is also the planet of power and secrets. So we're going to see these themes rise up to the surface during the first 2 weeks of May. And what's so fascinating about this, nothing happens by accident with the stars. If we actually just look at our stars, we will see the destiny of the collective. And this Pluto retrograde happens just 3 days before the 5/5 portal, which is all about freedom and change. And guess what the collective is doing right now? The collective, even though you may not be seeing it on your TVs, if you turn on social media, you will see the collective calling their power back. There's so many protests going on globally around the world for so many different topics because Pluto is moving into Aquarius. So Pluto is the planet of power, of secrets, and now all of the secrets, all of the corruption, everything is rising up to the surface, and Aquarius represents the people. So naturally, this is literally an organic move back to the people. So power being transferred from the systems that we've been governed by into the people. What's so fascinating is that this retrograde, it ends on October 11, right before the 10-10 portal. So 10 is all about completions. So right now we are completing a cycle. This is the last time in our lifetimes that Pluto will be in Capricorn. Capricorn represents the power structures. So top down, we elect presidents, we have people governing over us, but that's the last time that we're going to experience that in this lifetime, because Pluto is moving into Aquarius for the next 20 years. And so this theme of power returning to the people, it's going to happen. There's nothing that's going to be there to stop it. Of course, within universal law, there's always a law of polarity, and we also have to have this clash. But just know that this is going to happen no matter what. And it's important for you to focus on these collective efforts and send love to any cause that deeply resonates with you. At a personal level, this Pluto retrograde is a call for you to be more unique, and it's a call for you to reunify with what you actually want. So since birth, we've been programmed to want specific things. Like, we are born into families, and certain families want us to be a certain religion, or they want us to love a certain sports team, or they want us to love a certain type of food. So we're constantly being programmed since birth. And if we go out and drive in our local cities, you will see bus billboards, you will see billboards on the highway, and online you will just see so many advertisements telling you what you should want. So now this Pluto in Aquarius is telling you, hey, you need to be courageous, and even though it's scary, to be unique, to honor your own path, to honor your own interests, your own talents, and to be unique. You were born here not to look like me, not to look like anyone else that you're seeing online. You were born to speak and to look and to act like your unique ray of light, and that's what our world needs. And that's why this Pluto and Aquarius energy is really calling you to honor your authenticity and be unique, and also be bold in that path. I'll talk about this in a little bit with Jupiter entering Gemini. But if you've been thinking about starting a social media profile, if you've been thinking about starting a new business or starting a new project where you're being asked to be seen, to share your voice more, this is the month to do it. Don't delay. One of the most exciting events of May is the last super new moon of the year on May 7th. So this is the last of 5 consecutive super new moons. So since the start of 2024, we've had 5 super new moons back to back, and the one in May is the last one. And what's so fascinating about this, that this is the 5th one, and it happens just 2 days after the 5/5 portal. This super new moon is creating a blank slate for us. That's the word I heard, blank slate. So I have a question for you. Let me know in the comments. If you were to start a new relationship, let's just say at work or with a romantic partner or with a friend, how would you restart that relationship? Would there be anything different that changes in the relationship's dynamics? Or let's just say that if you were to start your business or your career all over again from a blank slate, how would you do it? What would change? Would it look any different than it looks like today? So I encourage you to reflect on those questions. Let me know what you get in the comments, because the 5/5 portal happens just 2 days before this last super new moon. So 5 in numerology represents change, transformation. That is intended to lead to more freedom. So that's the intention for the change and transformation of number 5, to create more expansion and freedom. So how can you create more freedom in your relationships? Maybe freedom to be more of yourself, or maybe creating a nourishing space for your relationships, the people, to be more free to be themselves. And likewise in your business or in your career. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about that in the comments. So leading up to this new moon, reflect on what changes you can make so that you can have more freedom on your life. So the 5/5 portal is a great day for you to manifest, to focus on creating more freedom in your life. On May 5th, we'll likely see some combustive events, like very shocking events collectively. So just remember that whenever you are seeing an event, remember that the more intensity that we feel around the event, the more polarity will create around it. So whenever you are reading the news, seeing what's happening in global events, of course, allow yourself to process any organic emotions, but remember to call your energy back into a neutral space so that we don't create more of these extremes, because our emotions, our thoughts, our perspectives are being amplified right now, and especially during portals like the 5/5 portal, the super new moon. For this new moon, the moon and the sun are conjunct Uranus, the planet of change and innovation and freedom. So back in April, we had this Jupiter-Uranus meeting, which started a new 14-year cycle. And this super new moon on May 7th is going to stimulate that. This basically means that this is very fertile ground for you to have epiphanies and breakthroughs. So if possible, on May 5th and May 7th and the few days after that, because new moon energy is always active 3 days after the new moon and 3 days before, but because this is a super new moon and it's aligned with the 5/5 portal, this energy is going to be active for longer than 3 days. So during that time, spend time reflecting. Like, don't be stuck in your to-do list, don't be stuck in busy work. You need to create space for you to take a step back and reflect at a bird's eye view so that you can be open to receiving those epiphanies and breakthroughs. This super new moon happens in Taurus in tropical Western astrology, and Taurus represents the grounding, earthy, practical aspects of our lives, specifically our finances and relationships. During this super new moon, how can you plant seeds and create a nourishing environment for these seeds in your relationships and your finances to grow? So spend time reflecting on what are the most nourishing relationships in your life right now? Is it with your family? Is it with your coworkers? Is it with friends? And reflect on how you can nourish those more. Financially, reflect on where is the best use of your money. Where will you be able to receive the most amount of fruits in terms of your investments? Maybe is it that you need to learn a new skill set, or if you invest into stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, whatever it is, are you going to receive more benefit from that? So this is a good time for you to spend time reflecting on that. Within Vedic sidereal astrology, this super new moon happens in Aries. Aries is the bold pioneer, signifying new beginnings. So this is a great time for you to start a new project. It's a great time for you to start a new path forward. Remember, the theme for May is to commit to your rebirth. And this is the time for you to start a new path. And this is just so awesome because on May 13th, we have the end of the Mercury retrograde shadow period. So expect more clarity to be showing up in your life, and expect processes in your life to be more streamlined and to flow more easily. Then the next day on May 14th, Ceres goes retrograde. Ceres is one of the 4 main asteroids or dwarf planets. Ceres governs how we receive nurturing energy from others and how we nurture ourselves and others. This is a good time for you to reflect on your relationships again, which relationships are very nourishing for you, and maybe where can you bring more nourishment into your relationships. This is also a wonderful time for you to reflect on your relationship with your parents. Do you feel nourished by your parents? Do you feel like you are also nourishing your parents? Because sometimes as we grow older, sometimes we tend to be the parents for our parents over time as they get older, right? We have to take care of them physically, some of us financially, some of us emotionally. And so this is a good time for you to reflect on that, especially focus on going beyond the surface level and go deeper. Are there any blocks that you have with your parents, like maybe an abandonment wound perhaps? And this is a good time where you'll be able to receive more insights around your relationship with your parents. For the second half of May, bring these etheric concepts that we're talking about, new beginnings, rebirth, evolution, into your practical life. So I would recommend that you watch this video again in mid-May and then take the time to actually plan out, okay, this is what's happening etherically, cosmically. How can I bring that into the material, physical, day-to-day life? How can I actually start new things, right? Because May is all about, we just got out of eclipse season and now we're in this period of rebirth, and now we need to embrace a new identity, a new way of living, and a new way of being. And so how are you actually going to do that? What routines are you going to use into your life? Are you going to eat differently? Are you going to start going to the gym? Are you going to start putting yourself out there? The second half of May is the time for you to put these into practical plans in your daily life. I'll likely make a separate video for the full moon, which is on May 23rd. This full moon is in Scorpio in sidereal astrology, and it is in Sagittarius in tropical astrology. And again, we're going to be having a full moon ritual and meditation where you can connect with your animal guides to ask them questions, to get clarity and get direct guidance from them, and also do a release with them. If you want to join that full moon ritual and meditation, you can get more information in the description of this video. So on May 25th, Jupiter enters Gemini, and Jupiter will be in Gemini until June 2025. So this is a long transit, and with Jupiter moving into this air sign, air governs our mental abilities, our communication, our intellect. So expect for yourself to have more mental clarity, more mental sharpness as well. If you have been thinking about starting a new education path, this is going to be a great time for you to do it, because your mental capabilities will be strengthened with Jupiter moving into Gemini. Your communication will also be strengthened, and this is what I was referring to earlier in the video. If you've been thinking about maybe using your voice, putting yourself out there more, because Gemini also governs social media, this is the time for you to start your own YouTube channel, your own Instagram channel, whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe start blogging, but this is the time to do it. And one of the most important things is to know that even though this looks like a crowded space, there's thousands of people talking about spirituality, energy, or whatever it is that you want to talk about. Maybe for you, you want to talk about healthy eating habits, or you want to talk about entrepreneurship. People are going to resonate with you because you are unique. You have your own experience. You have your own way of and flavor of how you approach that certain topic. So do it. You have to be bold. Remember, this is the year of the dragon. The dragon is not scared. The dragon knows its power. It knows its uniqueness that it brings. And you are so unique, and this is the time for you to stop playing small, stop sitting on the sidelines, but put yourself out there and be courageous, because our world needs to hear your stories. Our world needs to hear your voice and your opinions, because it truly is going to make a change in other people's lives. In sidereal astrology, Jupiter actually entered Taurus on May 1st, 2024, and it will be there until May 2025. So that's the difference between these two different astrology systems, and these are not the only two, but these are the ones that I resonate with the most, and that's why I'm sharing them with you. There's actually many other different astrology systems. I just wanted to share that with you in case you're feeling more of that Taurus grounding energy. And actually, that's something I'll invite you to connect with during this Taurus season. Happy birthday to all you Tauruses out there. 2024 is a year of very fast change. May is unique in the way that the frequency of May is actually going to help us to slow down and sort of like put a pause button in all of this fast change that we've been moving throughout 2024. But the only way that that's going to happen is if you ground yourself. There's going to be many collective global events happening this month, and it's very easy for you to get sucked into the whirlpool of that chaos. Like, think about a washing machine. It's constantly just moving, swirling everywhere, and you have to be mindful to get out of that chaos and be a pillar of peace and light for the environment around you. Your family and your home. Is your home peaceful? In your neighborhood, in your community, is it peaceful? That's what you're here to do. Because when you focus on the internal peace, you help the external peace, as within, so without. And if you need help creating more peace in your life, check out the free alchemy meditations in the description of this video. These alchemy meditations are specifically designed to give you the most benefits from meditation. And they will use alchemical practices so that you can create and attract more peace, more love, and more clarity into your life. And you can find those free meditations in the description of this video. I'm wishing you an empowering May, and I will see you very soon. Much love, alchemists.